Bishop Wilton is a picturesque village 4 miles north of Pocklington. With its fine parish church, the village is strung along the grassy banks on either side of a beck that rises at the foot of the Yorkshire Wolds and runs downhill towards Yapham. St Edith's was largely rebuilt with funds provided by the Sykes family, and the new building designed by architect John Loughborough Pearson is unostentatious Victorian Gothic. Unfortunately, there is no detailed description of the medieval church that existed before Pearson's restoration in 1858-59, and any pictorial evidence for its former plan has not been identified. Sir Tatton Sykes had chosen to employ Pearson here at Bishop Wilton, having previously employed him to carry out restoration and new work to the churches at Garton-on-the-Wolds and Kirkburn, both between 1856 and 57. Thankfully, Pearson favoured keeping old work. Pearson's advice for St Edith's was that, with the exception of the medieval tower and its octagonal spire and a part of the north wall, was that the entire edifice should be rebuilt. That this is what was done is verified by Sir Stephen Glynn, whose notes on Yorkshire churches in the 19th century are an invaluable local resource, when he visited in 1865, observing that the greater part of the south aisle and chancel had been rebuilt. Pearson notably rebuilt the chancel with a Norman fenestration as he saw fit to do so, but only the south doorway and chancel arch are known with certainty to incorporate sculpture of a 12th century date. Although little of St Edith's medieval fabric was left undisturbed, some portion of the former medieval building can still be seen in the north elevation as viewed from the churchyard, where the north aisle and transept stand somewhat untouched. St Edith's has many interior features which were introduced after Pearson's restoration, primarily the black and white mosaic floor in the aisles and nave, patterned with birds in 1902 by Salviati and Temple Moore, said to have been copied from a floor in the Vatican. The screen under the chancel arch is made of brass and iron in 1874 to a design by George Edmund Street. Much of the vibrant stained glass in the aisle windows is by Clayton and Bell. The Romanesque south doorway consists of 4 orders rebuilt by Pearson using 50 to 60% of the old decorated stone in the arches. To this day it is still quite easy to tell the old stonework from the new by their difference in colour. The new additions follow the high sculptural quality of the old work, clearly so in areas that are of a continuous pattern, but where the stone is new, the contents do not stray far from the original decorative and iconographic scheme. However, the new work wasn't to everybody's tastes. One commentator, writing in 1889, was of the opinion that the south doorway had been reduced to a hopeless jumble of old and new work, and that Pearson had made a complete wreck, archaeologically speaking, of one of the finest Norman doorways in Yorkshire.